This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by the Savage, Alen Babic over Zoom. Alan, firstly, it's always a pleasure. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. When I see you, like I always tell you, when you come along, there is a match fighting coming. So just great. I gotta get used to these interviews again.
I was
I
going to say,
did
Alan, we've
from
obviously had
time.
we've had a brief chat there off camera about kind of where the land lies with your career. Have you got an update for your fans for the Savage Army?
Yeah, not really. Because Dillian is caught up with the Fury thing and everything. So I'm just waiting. I told them I'm ready. It's been 10 days, so they know I'm ready. So when they will need me, they will call me. I hope it'll be soon. Because I am ready. I'm sparring very hard. It'd be good to
Alan,
capitalize on that.
obviously, we've spoken and we'll speak a bit more on kind of the Bridgeweight division. You've spoken about challenging Oscar Rivas for that title. But away from that, when you look at the heavyweight division, we've been used to seeing you previously, you've boxed on Dillian's undercards before, amongst other shows. Obviously, he's getting ready for this Tyson Fury fight. Is there a chance you could box on that undercard despite the fact it's a Frank Warren and a top rank promotion show?
Well, I think you say it all. And listen, that's a big fight, biggest fight in British history. So they don't need me on the other card. On the previous fights, it was good to have him. So now they don't care about me right now. So I don't think I want to box there. I would like to more than anything. I hope I'm going to be there if I don't box as a fan. So, but I'm ready. They all know I'm ready, and they have a lot of shows. So whichever one, whoever, whenever I can fight three weight divisions, I can fight anybody anywhere. I just want to get back into it.
Alan, who are you looking at when you look at the division currently? There's one name which in Dave Allen will come on to, but is there anybody other than Dave and obviously Oscar Rivas who you're considering?
Well, there is this guy Rositsky. What's his name? Rositsky. He called me out, and I said yes, let's go. So, but there's the politics in boxing. I'll fight them all. I will fight Sir Dave or all Allens tomorrow, but it just doesn't go that way. So I don't know anybody. So we have Rositsky, we have Rosansky, we have Dave Allen, Oscar Rivas, of course. We have many of them. I just give me whatever you want.
Alan, I saw Dave Allen's post, I think it was yesterday, saying that once this weekend's out of the way for him, he'll have a couple of comeback wins under his belt, and then he's more than happy to face you after that. Are you confident yourself and Dave could square off and face each other in the summer, for example?
Well, yeah, but it's not us who's going to make that. Other people can make that fight, so it's not really up to me or him because we will fight. We 1 year ago, since I started doing pros, everybody keeps saying that, and I keep saying yes, let's go. It's just become stupid. I just keep saying yes, but nothing is happening. So other people have to agree on that. And like I said, boxing is not just boxing. I'll fight any man on the streets. It's much easier. This politics. I'm waiting for opponent. I'm ready. I mean, I'm ready for the last 15 days. I'm in top shape. So yeah, I'm not. It's not been long since I'm ready. So I'm just waiting. I hope I'm gonna fight in the upcoming month.
Is this frustrating for you, Alan, not to have a date yet because you look like you're itching to get back into the ring?
Well, not really. Listen, I had 10 fights in 2 years. Little something over 2 years. So I've been there. I've done that. I'm not like that. Like I was when we talked 3 years ago. I want to fight every month, and then I did that. I fought always every month, and I almost paid the price for it. Because there's a lot of you disappears with every fight. It's tough. It's mentally challenging. And I gotta perform every fight. Everybody expects me big from Savage. So I just want to take it smart now. But I just need a fight. Just need a date.
I mean,
So,
Alan, listening to you speak there, would you say your continuous, your continued amount of fights that you had throughout these last 2 years, as you mentioned, 10 fights in 2 years, is what made you produce the performance against David Spillmont, which made it a much more difficult fight for you than what you probably predicted it would be beforehand.
Well, I never use excuses. I don't like to use excuses. So no, it was a good fight, and I won by knockout. So everybody keep expecting me to knock out everybody in one round, but I had 5 of those. When it's gonna be enough? Gonna be the real fights. And David Spillmont was not that outsider like they thought he was. I knew he was a good fighter. I mean, good fight. He's not great. He's not even good, but he's okay fighter. He can fight. I let him one round. I let him to do his things, and it almost cost me. So that's boxing. You saw how many upsets there were last year, like 15 upsets. With the greatest boxers. So it's nothing new. It is what it is. But I'm back now. I was fucked up for like 1 month maybe, and I was back in training because that's the only thing I know how to do. I don't know how to do nothing else. So and now my mind is clear again. And I can entertain the public the right way. The only way I know.
Alen, before the Spillman fight, yourself, Eddie, and the team were confident yourself and Oscar Rivas could have faced each other within 2 or 3 fights after that. But because of the nature of that Spillman fight, I think people have started to question whether or not it would be right for you to do so soon. Would you be happy to still face Oscar Rivas before, say, the years out, if an opportunity could be presented to you, because it's still so, you're still so highly ranked in those Bridgerite rankings?
Oh, listen, people are gonna talk all the time. They talk every single day. While I was knocking everybody out. So can you imagine what happens if someone goes 5 rounds with me? I'm dead. So a lot of people love me. I have a huge savage mother, especially in UK. But a lot of people also don't like me, and that's okay. So that's nothing to be bothered about. It's just nature of boxing. One day you're on the top of the world, next day you're under the mountains. So it's just what it is. We boxers have to cope with that. And I'm very good at dealing with it. I don't even know that. I love my people. I love my naysayers. I love everybody. So
Alen,
I can fight Oscar Rivas next week, no problem. I do this for a living. You gotta understand, I'm not just some guy who trains for a fight. I do this every day. Right now in fight, I have a sparring fight at my club, so it's just another day for me. It happens to be boxing, which is very well populated and big money in that. So some people are good at, I don't know, something else which doesn't have money in it and stuff. So that's their fuck, not me.
Alen, away from yourself, I just want to touch on the Fury White fight a little bit more. Obviously, Dillion's been very silent and kept himself to himself with all of the talks and what have you going on in the background. What have you made of Dillion's approach? It's not one we've been used to seeing throughout his career.
Yeah, well, I talk to Dillian on a weekly basis, and we keep in touch. And I know he's preparing himself for the battle. Everything is the same. I don't know why he took that approach. I mean, all of us will do differently. Nobody will do like somebody else tells you to do. So we will all do our own way and keep on his way. And I think it's good for him, to lay low for a while and then explode in the fight. It's going to be the biggest fight ever. So listen, the fight is already sold. So you don't really have to solve that fight. You just put those 2 names, like 80,000 tickets went up in 3 hours. So the fight is there, it's done. So I think he's smart about it.
Alen, what do you make of a fight? Just trying to kind of work it out and break it down for me. What does Dillion have to do in that fight to be successful?
Well, like I always say, he has to be the old Dillion, aggressive and windmill. He gotta work his skills like a windmill because Fury is gonna move a lot. But if Dillian catches him, it's gonna be a big problem. So I think he just needs to let it go. Don't box with Fury. I wouldn't box with Fury, but he can if he wants. But I wouldn't box with Fury. I would just go in, guns blazing, throw everything but the kitchen sink, and it's worked so good for Dillian over the years. So I don't see nothing different with this fight. No, I wouldn't want him to go like in Povetkin's first fight. He was a little bit too much, like he wanted to be a boxer too much. I don't know how to say it. He was just better being a brawler. Like he is, like mentally, he's mentally tough guy. He needs to show that in the ring. He's going to have a very tough night if the right Dillian appears.
Away from that, Alan, I just want to get your thoughts on Alexander Usyk. Obviously, you've got the Klitschko brothers as well, defending their country against Russia at the minute. As a fellow heavyweight, as somebody I'm sure you've probably looked up to, the Klitschko brothers, because of what they achieved in the sport in your division at one stage. Just your thoughts on seeing them obviously defend their country.
Yeah, it's fucking unreal. I followed those happening and stuff, and it's unreal that could happen in 2022. It's just ridiculous. Just seeing them talk to the public and stuff, and nobody really listens to them. I can see that because they're aggravated. You can feel it in their voice. And it's just shame, bro. I don't know what to say. The fucking politics, it's gonna fuck us all, fuck us up all. It's just stupid. I still can't believe that's happening. But Usyk is a warrior. Klitschko brothers are warriors. They show that on the much tougher stage than boxing. So I wish them all the best and to defend their country. I would do the same for my country. So I understand them perfectly. What can you do, bro? What can you do? They didn't choose that way. They didn't choose that fight. It was given to them.
Of course, Alan, I'm sure yourself, like me, are all wishing for this to come to an end sooner rather than later. But just away from what's the tragic circumstances there, just with Anthony Joshua, waiting to see what's going to be happening with him next. Some names have been touted for him as potential interim fights if the Usyk rematch can't happen. Just want to throw a few of those at you. What would you make of a potential Anthony Joshua and Joe-Joyce fight?
Yeah, I just read some comments. I see they got into a little beef and stuff. And listen, I spar Joe-Joyce, and I will say it every time. I think he's one of the most dangerous fights in the division. The most dangerous fighters. He's so dangerous and so rugged, and we're not friends or anything like that. But I will always say, I felt it on my head, and he felt my fist, and I felt his, and he's very, very tough. And I don't know if Joshua needs that fight. He's a superstar, like Usyk said. I don't know if he needs somebody like the Juggernaut coming onto him for 12 rounds. So it's very, very dangerous fighter, Joe-Joyce, and I think he's going to show that. And eventually, I think he will be a world champion, because he will not stop. I don't see him. I followed him to the WSB series. I was just in my country doing boxing on a small basis, and I followed Joe-Joyce then, and he's the same. I always said that there's something different with this guy. I like what he's doing. He's polite, but tells you to fuck off. It's weird. It's very weird. It's not like me. For me, it's what you see is what you get. But Usyk, Joyce is more, picking places.
Alan, away from that one, you've also seen Deontay Wilder's name mentioned. What do you make of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder?
Well, I think that's much smarter fight for Joshua. Much smarter because they are on almost the same level at some exposure and stuff. So I think that's much better and much easier fight for Joshua. I would tell to stay off Joe-Joyce. That would be my advice. And do take Deontay Wilder because he's done it all. He's been through it all already. He's been the world champion and everything. So he's not. He doesn't have the same hunger as Joyce had, and that is a really tough thing. That's why I do all these things because I'm hungry and I want it all. When I succeed, when I have beautiful little babies, my house and everything, who said I'm going to be like this? I'm not. I said I'm going to go to sleep probably. So I understand that thing. And I think Joshua will be smart pick Deontay Wilder over just Joyce.
Alan, the general consensus when I've asked people this seems to be they'd like to see, as a fan, AJ versus either Joyce or Wilder, but the one which might be smarter for his career would be to face either Otto Wallin or Luis Ortiz because they're southpaws, and it would allow him to have another camp to prepare for an eventual Alexander Usyk rematch. What would be your thoughts on AJ versus either Wallin or Ortiz?
I think that those two fights are nowhere near these previous two fights. And I think Joyce and Deontay Wilder are much better boxing fights. Those are the fights we want. Those are the fights we strive to get. So I think Luis Ortiz is near the end of his career. You don't get much from that fight. AJ won't get much from that fight. Otto Wallin, not a big name. So yeah, I think Deontay Wilder would be the perfect match for him right now. And I hope it happens because I want to see them, because everybody want to see Wilder versus Joshua. It's been in talks like me and Dave Allen for like 5 years, non-stop, So let's see it. USA versus England, UK.
Get you on the undercard, Alan. Get AJ Wilder and then Babic versus Babic versus Dave Allen on the undercard.
Yeah, we gotta do that fight, bro. We gotta do that fight, but like I said, other people have to make the fight, but they're there. He wanna fight me, I wanna fight him on every undercard. We don't need to be the main event. I'm cool with being the co-main event. I think that's the place for me and that. No, we're not superstars like they are. We're not fucking Joshua's. But for a good co-main event, I don't see a better fight.
Right, Alan, we'll leave it there and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. But I'm going to leave a final word to yourself. Obviously, your Savage Army, the fans are waiting to see you make that ring return. Well, have you got a message for them?
Wait, you went. Wait. Do you hear me?
You're back now, yes.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, just
a
message to the Savage Army who are waiting for your ring return.
Savage Army, I'm waiting for the Savage also, but I'm starting to feel it, and I know I'm going to entertain you all again. I'm going to be back in full power. Something you never even seen before. Let's go, Savage Army. Soon you shall be summoned. We go on. See you, brother. Thank you.
See you later, Alan. Thank you.